Now, Ashley Banjo, still celebrating this morning after Diversity's BAFTA win at the weekend. They got the Must-See Moment award for their performance on Britain's Got Talent. And now, well, Ashley, the man who does everything, he's making his debut as a director with the group's new short movie, The Recovery. Well, Ashley Banjo joins me now, the man who can do everything directing now, which is amazing. Tell us about The Recovery, tell us about the storyline and what's happening and how it all came about.
Well, it's lockdown. It's like, why not? You know what I mean? It's that attitude, Lorraine. Yeah. It's something I've always wanted to do, always move into film and cinema and just creating in new ways. You know, we've done so much live shows over the years, so many live performances. And like cinema and film allows us to do something completely different with dance. And I feel like if you think about dance movies, you almost know the script, right? It's like a dance movie is quite predictable in some ways. So it was like, how can we use dance in a completely different way? And if, you know, The Recovery's, it literally is stunts, action. We did our own stunt driving, our own like action sequences. So it isn't just a dance film, it's like an little action film. That's
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a great thing to do. And you know what? I always think you're a very, very skilled choreographer, and a lot of those skills a director needs them. You think someone like Bob Fosse, who directed Cabaret, you know, he all of those skills that he learned, you know, as a dancer and as a choreographer, he just put into that film.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense.
It makes sense. Like, I didn't even realise that I was doing a lot of this until later in my career. You know, I used to sit back and before I would come up with a tour, for example, I would write and pull the scenes together and write the storyboards and tell people how it should look. And that's before I even choreographed. And it was only like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, oh, I'm actually directing stuff. And then I started just to hone the skill more until we get to this point. So, yeah, really proud of it.
It's brilliant. And congratulations on the BAFTA. That was a big moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to say the least.
That really was.
To go from most complained about to winning must-see moment of the year. I mean, it's like polar opposite, right?
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because, yes, a lot of people complained, they did. But millions didn't.
Exactly.
That's the way I always think of it. Millions didn't. And you made a really good point about the people that had complained, didn't you?
Absolutely. They really helped to make it a moment, and they really helped to show the reason we did the performance in the first place. You know, the fact that people find this uncomfortable and something that we don't want to talk about, but we should. And I'm really proud of it. Really proud of it.
As long as we all can talk about it, that's the main thing. Because you know there has always been reluctance on many people's parts. You know, it doesn't matter what colour you are, in case you offend.
Exactly.
You know, there's that worry, or in case you know, in case you might get terrible backlash if you say something stupid or ill-informed, or that you didn't realise was offensive, because that can happen. We know that can.
Of course it can, and I would much rather someone say to me, by the way, is this right? Is it wrong? Is it offensive? How do you feel about this?
Exactly.
And I would be like, oh, you know, either I might not even know the answer sometimes. It's like, let's just have discussion.
Sure.
But, you know, like, not talking, ignoring issues, and worse, spewing hate is just not the
Festers away, it's toxic, it's not good. And you get such a lot of support. And from Harry and Meghan, you got support at the time and afterwards too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they're just normal people. You know, they're living a slightly different life to us.
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit, but they are just people. And, you know, you look at their actions to look after one another and protect their little family, and I understand it 100%. And, you know, there was a lot of things people were shocked at in their interview with Oprah that I think I was less shocked at because of our conversation. You know, we had a really long chat and it was really eye-opening for me. So, yeah, I'm genuinely like inspired by both of them actually, and the way they've handled themselves.
Well, you know, you've got that bond with them now. You could maybe, I mean, they've got the big Netflix deal. Who knows? Yeah. You could maybe work with them.
You never
know. Say never. Especially you never say never, because you're so open to doing so many different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, look, you've got the BAFTA under your belt. Is it the Oscar next? Is that what we're going for?
Without a doubt, Lorraine, without a doubt.
I love that you say that, because most people would go, oh, well, I'm not sure, I don't know. You just go for it.
Listen, if we decide that we want it, like the way we are, I'll go for it. And in my mind, I don't see why that's impossible, you know? I'm just going to go for it.
Well, of course it's not. No, of course it's not. And how about diversity? There you all are.
Yeah, look at that.
Grown up now, it's wonderful. You're going to be touring, I mean, because you've got so many things going on, but obviously people, when we can, and it's all sort of opening up now, we can see you again.
We have been caged. And not only have we been caged, we've all been caged.
That's a good way to put it.
We have been caged with the sort of all of this energy, emotion and story under our belt. The last 2 years have not just changed the world, but for us personally, they've really changed us. We've been through things that we never thought we'd go through. So this tour is going to be a way for us to sort of lay that story out on stage like we always do, and I think it's going to be a really sort of special capture of moment in time.
Well, it's always a spectacle watching you guys live anyway.
Oh,
It always is. It's always quite it's incredibly emotional as well, though, because I think that's the thing about dance that sometimes people don't remember or they don't appreciate so much. It really touches you, and it really, you cry and you feel happy, and
absolutely.
it just gets you, doesn't it?
That's the difference. That's what the recovery is all about. There's dance and there's the skill of it, and then there's the skill of how you use it. And what we try to be really good at is not just having the skill of the actual moves. It's how we use it, how we tell stories, how we connect with people. And so, yeah, I feel like when you come to one of our live shows, a lot of people say they genuinely leave feeling affected and connected to it, and that's the most we can ask for. Just like what happened on Britain's Got Talent with the routine, we used our skills to tell a story.
Yeah.
And that story connected with people.
No, it very much did. I mean, we've talked about the fact that there was a backlash and it was very tough for you and indeed for your family. But I always think of your children as growing up in this incredibly creative environment, with people jumping in and literally jumping in and out of the house and doing spins and doing all that sort of stuff. So they will grow up with that. The fact that, they'll grow up in a very creative world that you've created for them.
Which worries me sometimes because, like this world that they're going to grow up, like I think about the world I grew up in, and it literally is so different to what is the norm for them. From 6 months old, my daughter was on stage in front of 10,000 people just walking along with me. And it's like, that's going to be the norm to her,
And it's inevitable that she'll do it. I would think, if she wants to.
If she wants to. Obviously, I would never force her, but they both sing and dance and love music around the house. So we'll see what happens. But,
And do you think the world that your children will grow up in will be better for them?
Absolutely.
You do? You're optimistic, you're hopeful?
No, absolutely. Even just like what I've seen and what I've felt. And that's why the BAFTA was so important, because the BAFTA for me is some kind of tangible proof that that's not just a hopeful statement. It is a tangible thing that I can touch and say, this is no longer the routine that received complaints, it's the routine that won a BAFTA. And that, for me, that's why I said it in my speech, it's what change feels like for me. So it makes me sort of just hopeful for my kids and their world,
It's so good to talk to you. It always is. The recovery. Now, it's going to be premiering on your YouTube channel Thursday? Next Thursday?
Next week, So get over to Diversity's YouTube. And,
that's a really good YouTube channel. It's full of energy and hope. And
we try to. We just got back on it recently, so we're just trying to, give it some more energy, like you said.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
That's the plan.
Always a joy. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.